Okay, I think I am live. Yeah. Okay. So this is the first time I will be using a webcam for the live stream. So let me know in the comments as soon as you can how it looks, sounds, everything. This is the first time I've actually even tested this stuff out. So yeah. Let me know in the comments if it looks, sounds fine, I guess. Because I won't be able to tell on my end. But yeah, how are you guys doing? How is... Okay, it's going to be an adjustment. How are you guys doing? How is your Sundays going? How's your week going? And hello, Tiffany. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, let me know if it's... I don't know how the picture looks on for other people, or the sound, if it sounds fine. It says there's a built-in microphone, so we'll see how well that works. But yeah, it's really hard not to look down on the screen because I have the webcam above my my monitor here. So yeah, let's see if I can adjust this a little bit more. It's also, everything is flipped on this. So I don't know if it's flipped on the computer as well, or the screen that you guys are watching it on. So yeah, so I'm still trying to get used to the picture quality. Looks a little different than my phone, so that's fun. But let's see. Okay, so let me know, guys, in the comments. This is kind of an experiment. This week will be an experiment if I continue to use a webcam over my iPhone for a live stream, because I don't necessarily know which way is better, which way people prefer. I'm still learning everything, so just let me know on that. So tonight, I just wanted to talk some movies, like always. I feel like there is always a lot to talk about in the world of movies. There are a couple things that I wanted to start off by discussing. The first just being the very few things that I actually watched this week. So, hola, hello. And I unfortunately did not watch a ton this week. It's just been a very busy week for me, and I just had a lot going on. And so, really, I really only watched like 3 things. And one of which was just a few more episodes of Always Sunny. And then I also watched the film Giallo. It was a Dario Argento's movie, Giallo, which was pretty good. I mean, it was a typical Argento film, and I don't know, I liked it. And then the last thing I watched was The Adventures of Robin Hood, and I actually watched that on Laserdisc. So I busted out my my Laserdisc player, and I was able to just to watch that, and that was on a Criterion Laserdisc. And so I've been trying to maybe get into the Laserdisc like world a little bit more, and just trying to watch more of those. And so yeah, that's really all I watched this week, which was really unfortunate because I don't know, I wanted to watch more, but I've just been super busy with a lot of different things going on, and so I was not able to do that. So, but what are some things that you guys are watching this week? Let's see if I can maybe adjust this a little bit more, make it look a little bit more natural. Yeah. Let me know, guys, what are some things that you guys watched this week? I'm very curious. And yeah, I mean, one other thing that I let's see, I watched I watched The Game with Michael Douglas. Have you seen it? Yes, I have. That is let's see. I also have the computer much further back than I normally do, like my camera. So it's definitely, there's like way more space behind me to walk. But The Game, yes, with Michael Douglas. This is a fantastic film. I really actually do like this. I feel like it's a lot of fun. Um, and it's a David Fincher, which is fun. And so I don't know. I need to rewatch it. I've seen it one time through, and I mean, when I watched it, I really enjoyed it. But fantastic film. Um, something else that I completed, I think it was this week when I completed it. Maybe it was last week, but I have it here. I don't. I think if I completed it last week, I didn't have this with me, but I at least completed it, and now I have it here to show off. But um, I made a complete list of every single Criterion Laserdisc. So this is every single spine number, every single different edition, because when it comes to Criterion Laserdiscs, there were it kind of depended on things, but like for instance, the movie High Noon, there were three different artwork variations of the film. There were two editions that was what's called a CAV, which was 2 disc, and then there was one edition of a CLV, which is 1 disc. Um, so it's spine number 7, and so there's three. There's like spine number 7, 7, and then 7A, just depending on the artwork variation. And so there's multiple. There's actually a ton of Criterion Laserdiscs. There's a total of 379, and so I completed this notebook with all of the different. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the webcam, but all of the different like Criterion Laserdiscs, along with making note of if it's a CAV or CLV, and if I own it, the spine number, if it has what's called a gatefold, or if it has a CAV box, which is like more of like a box set with like multiple discs. I'm just trying to keep track of the different editions, because one of my goals is to have every single Criterion Laserdisc as well. So I'm slowly but surely building that collection as well. Obviously, there's a ton of Blu-ray DVDs and 4Ks, but Laserdisc, I figured, it's only, they're not ever going to come out with more of them. So really, you could just, it wouldn't be a hard collection to complete because it's only 379, which is still like a ton, but it'd be fun to try get all of those. But let's see. I finished watching Everybody Loves Raymond, the third time, I think, and Victor Fleming's Joan of Arc. Yes, I think Joan of Arc. So it wasn't the original Joan of Arc. I've not seen the Victor Fleming's Joan of Arc, but I've never seen Everybody Loves Raymond. I feel like I've came across a few different like episodes here and there, just depending on if I was watching TV or not. But I've been curious about the show. I've never got around to watching it. But I am very. I will say this quickly now. I am very excited about this week's video that I've already filmed. I just need to edit. Yeah, it was an exciting weekend for me, I'll just say. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. Tiffany asks, what is the difference between CAV and CLV for Laserdisc? Sorry, I am new to Laserdisc. Well, no problem. So as far as I understand it, CLV is like 1 disc. So like you get 1 Laserdisc, and CAV is like at least like 2 Laserdisc, depending on the length of the film. Now, I don't know how accurate that is. That is just my very basic understanding, because also I am not like super versed in the world of Laserdisc. I'm still also learning a lot about it as well, but that's at least how I understand it. Because there's also films that are like kind of longer, but they're CLV, and so there's like multiple discs just to like make up the length of the film. I believe it has something to do with like special features. I could be mistaken on that. So if somebody in the comments knows exactly an answer, that'd be great. But it is kind of like I feel like at least I have here just like a note: CLV one disc, CAV two disc at least. I hopefully someday in the future I'll do like a full like in-depth video of of what like the Criterion Collection Laserdisc world. But yeah, I don't know. It's still like a learning. It's definitely like a learning curve because Laserdisc in of itself is just like such a different format than anything we have today. So I don't know. Are Laserdisc players sensitive machines like vinyl players are? I would say no. I have had. Let's see. I don't use my Laserdisc player super regularly, but I've never had any issues with it. I would say so. Like the difference between like a Laserdisc and like a vinyl, like Laserdisc is like reading similar to like what a DVD is, where there's like actual like information on like a disc, but like a vinyl, it's like physically like reading a little groove, and there's like little things for it to bounce up and down on. So like if a little piece of dust gets on that groove, it like will skip and it will push that needle elsewhere. Laserdisc player, it has like an eye, like a essentially like a DVD player or a 4K player that like reads the information on the actual disc. So I'd say overall it does not. It is not nearly as sensitive. Now, something that would be, I guess, closer to what vinyl would be, I would argue that the like a CED player, where it has a physical needle that reads the information. As far as that's, I mean, I should say, I've never taken apart a Laserdisc player before, so I don't know for certain that is how it works. But I have taken apart a CED player, and it does have like a little needle. So I'd say that is that is probably the closest way I can explain it. But I should do like a whole like Laserdisc like deep dive and like the world of Laserdisc and the difference between Laserdisc and CED, and just kind of like what all of that includes. But hi Kyle, how or have you ever seen the Bellatar's Strantingo? It's like 7.5 hour Hungarian film. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that title right, but I have heard of it. Yes. And I want to see it. It is on my list. I do not own it. I've heard of Bellatar, and there is actually a boutique label that sells a lot of his films, and I've really want to. I think it's a he, Bellatar. I can't say for I guess their films. But I really want to see their films because I feel like it is just 7.5 hours sounds like amazing. The closest thing that I have to something like with that length would probably be my this Criterion box set, which I know is technically I think like a mini series or something, but it's 902 minutes long. But yes, I do want to see that 7.5 hour that 7.5 hour long film. It looks very fascinating. I found Bergman's Fanny and Alexander on Laserdisc at Goodwill the other day. A couple bucks, bought it even without owning a player. That's awesome. Yes, I would. Uh, there's certain discs that if I came across, I would definitely purchase. Like I was at a thrift shop the other day, and I came across what was it, Bugsy, I believe, on Laserdisc. Which I've definitely become more picky when it comes to Laserdisc of like what I want to own in my collection, especially that it just takes up like space, and so I decided to pass on it. Back in the day, I used to just if I came across Laserdiscs at a good price, I would just purchase them, and it didn't really matter at all what the title was. Um, but um, yeah, I Fanny and Alexander, sorry, Fanny and Alexander, um, which is also within the Criterion Collection, which is also a very long film. Uh, I've never seen it, but it's on my list. But that's a great find for our on Laserdisc. It's also with Laserdisc. I just feel like the artwork looks just fantastic. A lot of the titles, there's like artwork that was only for Laserdisc that it never got moved over to DVD or anything. And um, yeah, I mean, especially like some of the horror movie artwork, just looks fantastic. But um, it's really great. Tat, the Bellatar film. I watched it today. It reminded me a lot of Tarkovsky films. Yeah, I could see that. I want to get more into Tarkovsky. I've seen almost everything in that's within the Criterion Collection. I've not seen The Sacrifice or Nostalgia or Ivan's Childhood. Um, I think that's the only ones I haven't seen. But I've seen Solaris, The Mirror, Andre Ruble. What else is in, that he's made? Not Solaris. Solaris. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I've seen most of his other films that he's put out. Which I've been debating if I want to make like a little Tarkovsky section in my directors section. Um, and I don't know, maybe someday I'll have a Tarkovsky collection. But let's see, how many laser discs do you own? I don't know at the moment. I probably four 400 ish, maybe 500. Yeah, I'd say about 400. Because I have like one one shelf dedicated to Laserdisc, and each shelf holds roughly about 120 discs, and there's four shelves. So let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, I'd say probably a little under 500 in total. Now there's some duplicates within there, but overall, I'd say it's a I don't know. I mean that shelf's like packed full now at this point. But my one goal is to have all of the Criterion discs, and so when I do that, I'm going to have to rearrange basically the whole movie room. So because I would like to have all of the Criterion laser discs kind of near the Criterion shelf itself, because I just kind of I like the idea of um, I don't know, having both things kind of near each other. But yeah, for now it's about like I'd say I don't know. I mean, just say for I don't know, say 480 for now for the amount of laser discs I have. Um, Kyle and everyone, favorites and least favorite Jack Nicholson film. Ooh, that's a great question. I would say I'm torn between The Shining. It's probably like I mean, The Shining in general is just one of my favorite movies ever made, so it's hard to um, I don't know. But I also really like Easy Rider, um, which I know he wasn't like the star of necessarily, um, but I don't know. I don't know what a least favorite Jack Nicholson film would be. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one. Um, but let's see. What movie never fails to make you happy? Ooh, that's a great question. Hmm. I mean, there's like the nostalgic like kid movies that I've seen a lot that like just it's like a comfort film um, that I've seen so many times. I mean, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite film of all time, so I feel like I've seen it like a countless amount of times that I've just every time I see it, it's just fantastic and I love it. Um, hmm, that's a good question. Um, I mean, hmm. I really like the Friday the 13th series, which might be a weird answer for that question, but like I also just I don't know, they're fun and I feel like you can just um I don't know, you can sit back and just like have fun with the films. So I feel like it's just a fun time, but I don't know. I mean, I would say like the nostalgic like kid movies that I've seen of like Honey I Shrunk the Kids, which is one of the more like influential films to me as a person. Like I really like it. Um, but yeah, I would say for now I'd say that. But favorite Jack Nicholson tie between The Shining and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yes, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is pretty good. Um, which I have right here on a digibook. Um, but it's been a while since I've seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So maybe I'll have to check that out. Um, let's see. Are you into sitcoms? Thanks. Yes and no. I'd say like I don't know. I'm not like a huge like TV person to start off with. So like um yeah, I don't know. I would say like overall probably just like they're okay. It's not like my favorite genre. I mean, comedy in general isn't my like favorite genre. But sitcoms are just like they're okay. I mean, I've seen like your like I've seen Friends, which is probably one of the more the biggest sitcoms, I guess. Um, and I feel like I've seen a couple others, but it's just like it's not my go-to. I'm definitely more into like horror or like into stuff like what the Criterion Collection is. But let's see. Have you ever seen? I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Movie The Passenger. It's great and stars Nicholson too. See, The Passenger. The Passenger. That sounds very familiar. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen it or not. I don't think I've seen it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have not seen that the film, but also sorry I keep looking down. The screen that you like the comments are popping up on, like that is like um it is like oh Michelangelo. Like okay, yeah, sorry. I am terrible at reading. The screen that I'm looking at, like the comments pop up underneath the webcam, so it's just kind of like, um uh, Michelangelo's into the movie The Passenger. Yes, I've not seen the Passenger though. So sorry about that. Is there a movie that everyone loves that you can't stand? There's a few. um, I'm trying to think though. The big one I would say that I personally just don't like, that a lot of people really like is Avatar. I just not my type of movie. But that's fine. I just uh, personally just I don't find it a very interesting film, but um, yeah, I'm sure there's other ones that like other people love that I'm okay with not watching. Um, but yeah, I'd say the Avatar films are probably my best answer. Um, but um, trying to think what else happened this week in the world of physical media that was kind of like a big news. I know Criterion announced a few. I don't know if it was this week or last week, um, but they announced a few more titles. One of which being Blue Velvet on 4K. which is just fantastic. I mean, the Blu-ray looks great. And there's probably other David Lynch films that I would have rather got 4Ks before Blue Velvet. Um, I think Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me deserves a 4K over Blue Velvet, but that's just my opinion. Um, but I don't know. I feel like Criterion. I'm still. It's just very interesting what films they're picking and choosing to put into their collection. But um, let's see. Thanks, Brett. My least favorite Nicholson movie would be Anger Management. I'm not saying it's bad. Yeah, I kind of forgot that's also that has Nicholson in it. Um, I'm sure it's like if I really sat down with like a list of all of Jack Nicholson films, I am sure I would come across one that like I'm not a huge fan of, um, especially maybe his like later stuff. Um, but good evening, everybody. Good evening, Ralph. Welcome to the live stream. So I should add again, just quickly, if you are joining, the reason why the video looks different, I'm using a computer for the first time for the live stream. And so I'm just trying to test the water, see if I should be using a webcam over phone, and see if it just sounds, looks, I don't know, just reacts better than a phone. But I don't know. What I should do is I have the ability to use my Canon R5 camera as a webcam. So maybe next week I'll try that out. I'm trying to still experiment out and see, what works the best for these live streams. So, um, but let's see. I totally agree. I'd rather see Fire Walk with Me on 4K. Um, when when are we going to get that Twin Peaks: The Return as an 18-hour long movie release from Criterion? Would be so amazing. I 100% agree. I feel like the return of Twin Peaks as like one box set, similar to the other one that I was just showing, where it's like an 18-hour long like movie, which essentially that's what it is. Um, that would probably be a pre-order. I would pay full price for that. That's I would not. I mean, that's something that I probably would not wait for the sale. I mean, I have it on Blu-ray, but like I feel like that would be so just awesome to have the Criterion collection. Um, I also think it would be fantastic to get a like a complete Twin Peaks box set in the Criterion collection. I know they don't necessarily do TV stuff, but um, in regards to the like in like for something like that, like something that kind of revolutionized how even TV is made, um, I would say like that's like a pretty important piece of cinema. So I feel like Criterion should come out with something like that. But and they also should come out with his like two or three other films or three other movies that are like have yet to get a Criterion release. I'm sure it's a rights issue, but like you know, Straight Story would be fantastic to get a Criterion release. It's a fantastic movie if you ever get a chance to check it out. Um, and Wild at Heart would be another great Criterion release. And I know Arrow Video put this out, but Dune, his version of Dune would be also fantastic to get a Criterion release of that. But I still need to get the Arrow. I would love to get the Arrow 4K limited edition of Dune at some point, but yeah, it's also very expensive, and so I feel like it's not going to get much cheaper at any point. But um, yeah, so grab. Um, hey Kyle, hello, Popcorn and Gore Flicks, welcome. Um, the I guess yeah, that's a great question. Or let's see. Twin Peaks: The Return is my personal favorite thing ever made. not just from Lynch, but by any filmmaker. I've watched that show like so many times since its release. Yes, I want to. Um, I would love to rewatch The Return. I've watched it like one time all the way through, and I've like gone back and watched like bits and pieces of it here and there. But my wife and I sat like recently, or semi recently, I guess this was last year. We sat through and watched the first two seasons of Twin Peaks because I was like slowly introducing her into David Lynch as a director, and so we watched like Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks season 1 and 2, and then Fire Walk with Me, and we watched something else. But I'm trying to like, because I feel like David Lynch can be a lot, and so I'm trying to basically build up to the Return because I feel like, it's definitely very very David Lynch, but I would love to sit down and spend like an 18-hour long marathon and just watch straight through the whole show because I feel like that would just be probably the best possible way to watch The Return and not break it up uh, into things. But what has been your biggest bad buy or waste of money? Ooh. Um. So 1 year for Black Friday. Um, it was several years ago that it was like um, I ended up spending way more money than I wanted to on 4K. Um, I basically went to Best Buy, Walmart, and Target, and all the stores, and just bought like a bunch of like 4K stuff that it wasn't like necessarily like good titles. It was just stuff that was like the um, whatever was newest that year. And so it was just a bunch of newer 4Ks the that came out recently, and they're all like on sale because it was Black Friday. But still, $6, $7, $8 a piece. Some were like $15 a piece, and I was buying all of them brand new. Ended up spending far more money than I wanted to. Um, and in the months to follow, I kind of regretted that decision because I just felt like I wasted a lot of money because now a lot of those titles you can get still on 4K, and they weren't going out of print. They weren't hard to find or anything like that. They're just very run of the mill 4K, and now they're like used like same price as what they were during Black Friday. And if I wanted them in my collection, I could have been slowly buying them throughout like years to come, basically. But I ended up just buying them all at once and spending way more money on one transaction at Best Buy than I really wanted to. And like realistically, what I should have done is taken that same amount of money and bought something like Criterion, or it would have been less quantity, but it would have been quality. Or taking that money and just purchased like a few items that I've like really really wanted, but I ended up just buying a bunch of mediocre 4K. And since then, I've sold some off. I think I got like too excited that it's like, oh, it's Black Friday, let me just grab whatever. So since then, I really don't do Black Friday shopping. Partially because of that. I mean, I feel like a lot of the stuff that's for sale, it's not stuff I need right away. And I don't feel like a need to go get it. Um, but that'd probably be my biggest or my bad buy slash waste of money um, when it comes to movie stuff. But of course, episode 8 is good, but the last two episodes blow my mind each time. I'm assuming you're talking about Twin Peaks: The Return, because I would agree. Yeah, episode 8, if I remember correctly, yeah, episode 8 is like the one that's like just insane, and then the last two episodes also are just insane, but they're fantastic. It's so good. Um, but what is your favorite Billy Wilder movie? Ooh, that is a great question. Honestly, I have not seen a ton of Billy Wilder. Um, I'm trying to think though now of what are some of his bigger movies, because I've definitely seen stuff. Let's see, one advantage of doing things on the computer. Um, I can do multiple things at the same time. Let's see, Some Like It Hot, Sunset Boulevard, The Apartments. Okay. Um, I would say probably like from the ones I remember, because I've seen Sunset Boulevard, I've seen Some Like It Hot, I've seen. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, I really like Some Like It Hot. I feel like it's a fun, like it's very funny. Um, but also Sunset Boulevard is just fantastic. It's a toss up between those two, I'd say. Both are fantastic, but I love Sunset Boulevard. David Lynch's favorite Wilder film. Yeah, I would. I'd probably. I mean, if I had to really sit down and like, if I had to rewatch both of them like kind of back to back, I'd probably say Sunset would be my favorite. But um, let's see. Are you interested in books about films or film history of cinema? So actually, yes. I actually the only books I really buy are about movies, or I guess it's like books that movies are based off of. Um, and so I have a ton of. They're all up in my office, but I have a ton of, you know, movie books or like lists, like I don't know how to say it. Books that have lists of movies in them, like top 10 lists or 1001 movies to see before you die, or directors or actors, or, even books on how to make films, because I'm also very interested in making movies someday. Um, I also do like a lot of like photography. And so I actually have like a bunch of photography books too and stuff like that. But that's really the only books like I buy. Um, Usually I come out like all of them. I'd say I buy them like at thrift shops when I come across them. Um, or the other types of books that I buy would be either movie novelizations. I have a small collection of those. Any Star Wars book, because I love the idea of the expanded universe. It's just kind of fun. And I'm trying to think books that movies were based off of. So I have a decent amount of those. Um, and I've read a few. I'm not a huge reader to begin with, and so um, I don't know. I have a few books, but um, yeah. I also have the Twin Peaks books. Um, that so those are kind of some of my favorites that I have. But um, let's see. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimensions. Opinions, novelization is great. So I've seen it once, and I thought it was okay. Maybe I need to rewatch it. I actually, unfortunately, got rid of it. It was kind of like in a multi pack of films, and I had the other two movies. It was like a triple pack or something. Um, I had the other two movies already, like within my collection, and Buckaroo Banzai was like in there as well, and so I watched that, and then I basically just got rid of the collection of films. I kind of I kind of regret it. I wish I kind of held on to it because it was a fun movie. Not my favorite type of sci-fi movie, but yeah, I thought it was okay. Maybe I need to rewatch it sometime soon. But I bought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood novelization by Tarantino. It's fun. Yes, my friend actually got me that as a gift, and I need to read it still. Um, which again, I'm not a huge reader myself, so it's hard to. I'm more of like an audiobook person. Like when I was working on fixing up our house, there was a lot of before I was living here. Um, there was a lot of driving between where I was living and where I currently am living, and I would listen to audiobooks just all the time during that period of time, and so I listened to Into the Wild, which I know they made a movie off of, American Psycho, which made a movie, Mr. Mercedes, which made a show about, just stuff like that. But yes, I need to. I would like to read the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood book. But favorite movie that is so bad it's good. That is a fantastic question. I actually have a whole section within my movie room of like so bad it's good movies. Um, I'm trying to think. I would say, hmm, I would say the ones that come to mind for so bad they're good movies. Um, I'd probably say either Birdemic or The Room. Probably leaning more towards The Room because out of all of them, I've watched The Room the most. Um, and it's just yeah, I it is it's a fantastic film, and I feel like it's just it's the most fun I've ever had in a theater experience. I was lucky enough to get to do like a midnight screening of The Room. It was just such a great time. I mean, the whole time you couldn't hear the movie at all because people were quoting every single line of it, and it was like the most fun I've ever had in a theater experience because people were throwing spoons at the screen and everything. So I'd say probably The Room is my favorite. So bad it's good movie. Um, but let's see, American Psycho is such a good movie. I agree. It's one of my uh, it's like probably like it's in my maybe top like 20 horror titles. Um, but I'd say it's a very like misunderstood story. I feel like people I don't know. It's very easily categorized into one thing, but I really think it's about something completely different. Um, but Fateful Findings is a top tier good bad movie. Yes, I think I've seen one Neil Breen film. There was one on YouTube that was free to watch, and I think it was Fateful Findings. But I would love to. I mean, I've watched like so many YouTube videos on Neil Breen at this point that I feel like I've seen all of his movies. Um, One that is it had to be like there's no way that it wasn't, but it had to be some kind of tax evasion something. Was the movie After Last Season, because if you look up like the supposed budget on IMDb versus what the actual movie is, it's insane, and I'm sure there was something about it that was um, I'm sure they just, did it and then just basically wrote off, that they spent X amount of money and they actually didn't. There was something about it that was like that. I'm sure of it. But if you get a chance, After Last Season is, I believe, it's also on YouTube. So, um, but oh, hi, Mark. Hello. um, I know what you're referencing, but oh, hi, Mark. That's like one of the greatest lines in cinema history. It's just, it's so great. But would you do a video? Let's see. Okay. Would you do a video with advice for beginners or beginners home media collectors? Okay. Um, let's see. Would you do a video with advice for home or for beginners home media collectors? Yeah, I could do that. I feel like that is a an interesting topic because it's like obviously like I never like I didn't wake up one day and just go out and buy all of what you see behind me. I mean, this is like years of collecting, and it can be very intimidating, especially if you're like first getting into movies or buying physical media. I feel like it can be you don't know where to start, which even at this level of like collecting, I mean, I still feel like sometimes overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that is just constantly coming out and just um, I just feel like it's there's so much good stuff coming out that I just feel like it is hard to keep up with. So yeah, I could do something like that where I just talk about I did do a video that's I mean I don't know if this is something that would be interesting to you as a, if I'm assuming you're a you're a beginner in the physical media world. um you know I do have a video on my channel where I kind of go over my whole collecting journey. That might be beneficial. I don't know. I mean, I started my collection off with like 2 or 3 VHS tapes and um, ended up here. So it's definitely, I mean, because I know like what I have behind me is not the goal for everybody. Um, because it's sometimes, I mean, some people just want to collect, their core 20 films, and they might buy and sell other things. But for me, I love having stuff like this. But um, yeah, I yeah. Let's see. If you're a beginner, start with buying your favorite movies. I would agree with that. Get the ones that you feel like you are going to be rewatching over and over and over. Um, and you kind of have to decide where you want to, like, you know do you want to go 4K? Do you just want to stick with Blu-ray? Are you fine with DVD? um, and I mean, I would always recommend, if it's available on 4K, and if you're getting into it, if you have a 4K TV, maybe like if you have like a PS5 and you have a 4K TV, I would say go for the 4K. I mean, you already have the setup. Um, you don't have to necessarily go with the craziest sound system, or even if you have just like a 55 inch. I mean, I started my whole, like, when I was buying movies, I had just like a very tiny little, like, I don't know, maybe like a 20 inch, maybe even smaller. I don't have it anymore, but it was like a little tube TV, and that's where I watched most of my movies. And then I upgraded to like a 36 inch, and um, then I upgraded from that to a projector. It's just like a standard definition projector. I had that against my one wall for a while, and then from there I upgraded to, let me think. Eventually, I upgraded to like a 55-inch 4K screen, and then I now have another just 55-inch 4K, which I would love to get a bigger TV, but like for now, I'm happy with it. I feel like it's very, very easy to get caught up in the race of, I need to have the newest and the best, and it needs to be, the new, like the nicest thing out there. Um, I mean, this week alone, I watched a Laserdisc on it, and I'm just like, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's not like anything super special. I mean, I watched a Laserdisc and a DVD this week, and I was okay with it. So it really just depends on your budget is a big one, how much you can afford to put into it. Um, I would say start small, like start with small goals of, like, I mean, either that's collecting all of your favorite films, um, or just, I don't know, deciding what format you want it on. But um, yeah, because it's definitely, it can be very overwhelming, and it could be a little intimidating too. Especially, it's like if you want to, like, get into boutique stuff. I mean, I need to do another video on. I started a series on this channel of, like, going over all of the different boutique labels, and it's kind of roughly what they have to offer. But I need to release another video. But um, yeah, it's just, I'd start there. Do you read books first or watch movies and then read the book? Mostly I don't do either. So usually it's like for American Psycho, for example, it's because I listened to the audiobook. I definitely saw the movie first, and then I listened to the audiobook, years after I watched the movie. Um, but yeah, I've never really, like, did the whole, like, watching or reading the book first and then watching the movie or anything like that. Um, Mainly because it's just, I mean, usually, like, technically, usually speaking, like the adaptations from a book to screen, it's usually the book is going to be better. Mainly because, like, in a book you can be as detailed as you want. Um, and you can make it as long as you want, really. And there's no, like, um, boundaries that you have to work with. But with, like, when it comes to um, like a movie, like, there are certain boundaries that you do have to work with. So I personally just watch the movies, and I'm sure there's movies in my collection that are based off books, that I've never read. So I'm happy with, like, watching the movies. Like, technically, most of Stanley Kubrick movies are based off of books that I've never read, and I probably never will read. But um, yeah. What has been your favorite movie going experience? Yeah, I would say. Hmm, I mean, The Room was probably pretty high up there. That was a very great experience. It was like a very small indie theater. There's probably 30 people in it, maybe less. Um, I went with a couple friends. You know, we had some plastic spoons that we threw at the screen. Um, but other than that, the other ones that I'm that come to mind would be I went to go see Suspiria, not the original, but the remake when it was first coming out. Um, in again like an indie theater. And then I also went to go see Mandy, uh, again in an indie theater. Maybe it's just like the indie theater experience that I really like, where it's like really small, um, and it just feels more special. Um, but I will say that when I first went to go see Star Wars: The Force Awakens, it felt like the energy in the room was so like people were so hyped up that it felt special to be there. Um, but yeah, since then I feel like midnight premieres have kind of lost its like specialty. But yeah, I don't know. Um, um, Trying to think. I'll probably wrap up this live stream in like roughly 10 minutes ish. It's because I try to keep these roughly at like an hour long ish, just depending on a few factors. But already we're at 51 minutes. But um, yeah, let me know. Like, does a video slash picture quality does this look better than the phone? Especially for my people who come back every week. Do you like this more than the phone? Do you like it less than a phone? I'm curious on that. But Ralph says my favorite experience was watching a sing along outdoor cinema with a few thousand folks. The running gag was shouting a mountain anytime there was a mountain in the screen. Sound of music. Okay, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Well, I guess yeah, that actually brings up the outdoor movie experience. I saw Empire Strikes Back with a live orchestra playing the music. Um, so that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. I also saw Indiana Jones that way. Man, there's a lot actually. Now that I'm thinking of it, um, yeah, I really liked. I mean, with the live music, I feel like it's fantastic. I saw Pandora's Box a few months ago with like a live organ playing, which was fun. Um, yeah, but um, and I'm trying to think the other one that I watched that was like a lot of fun that I feel like it was just like an interesting. I went to go see the Green Inferno, the horror film, The Green Inferno. Um, the and it was like just it was a couple weeks after it came out, and I went to go see it. It was like in the middle of the day, like a matinee showing, and I was like one of four people in the theater, and it was fantastic. It was just like a great time just to I don't know, just just to kind of like watch a movie with just dead quietness around you. But definitely the phone looks much better, Kyle. Thank you. Okay, I will probably switch back to the phone then next week. Either that or use my actual camera as a webcam for the computer, which the camera itself is going to be better than the phone. Um, but because like at least what I'm seeing on my screen is just like it has like a bluish greenish tint to it, which I'm not crazy about. Um, which is very annoying when it comes to like live stream stuff. You there's no real way of like testing it um, before I guess you do a live stream. This is kind of just like a test run of this and seeing how it goes. Um, but we saw Prisoner of Azkaban with live orchestra. Um, see, with a live orchestra. Yes. Yeah, Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban. I feel like that'd be cool too. Um, and um, yeah, my wife really likes Prisoner of Azkaban, so she would probably want to go see that. But um, yeah, well, I'm going to probably end things here, unless if there's any other comments, concerns, questions, things that people want to say. Um, yeah, I mean, some great questions in there. Yeah, but I guess what are you guys watching or planning on watching this week? Is there anything exciting coming up that you guys are looking forward to doing, seeing? Yeah, I'm excited about the video that will get posted at some point this week. So keep an eye out for that. And if you are new to this, or if you're rewatching it too on the replay of things, um, the this I do live streams every Sunday around 7 o'clock, and that is Eastern Standard Time here in America. Because I know I have people from around the world watching these sometimes. So 7 o'clock Ohio time. So 7 p.m. But and then usually on Tuesdays or sometimes Wednesdays, or even in one case it was a Thursday, I will be posting a video. So I'm trying to do one video a week at least. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you're rewatching this on the playback, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I do appreciate it. Also, if you are watching it on the playback, let me know in the comments any of um, the if you have answers to any of the questions that were asked in the live chat. I'm very curious on your answers as well. Um, but if nobody else has anything to say, thank you guys for tuning in this week. These are always so fun for me. I really do enjoy them. And I will see you guys all next week. Um, and yeah, if you guys ever want to chat or anything, you can find me over on Instagram. If you have like questions, or if you guys want to, I guess, yeah, send photos of your collection. I'm always curious when people have like massive like movie collections and stuff, and I'm curious what other people have. So yeah, send photos of that. That'd be great. But my Instagram's always open for conversation. So I will with that I will see all of you guys next week. And yeah, so I guess I don't know how to end on the computer. Okay, yeah, but there we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night.